welcome to Super Flixx, the podcast covering superhero, sci-fi, and fantasy movies. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partner, Joe Hartley. What's up, man?
What's going on?
We are members of the Martial Arts Network, and you can check out our other show, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, every Thursday on the Martial Arts Network. Just look for the Martial Arts Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Joe, it's showtime. What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. Enjoying a couple days off. Running the kids around a little bit. You know, same old, same old. Other than that, trying to catch up on some podcasts. Winter Circle, I just caught up on that. Man, even without Angel, like y'all killing it. Having Seawalk back is so. I love having Seawalk back, and Trav and Los need to get back on something too, man.
Trav, me and him talked, and he said that he was thinking about doing something again. I'm not sure what it is that he's going to do, but actually, do you remember back in the day, WWE, back when it was WWF, it had a show on Sunday called Primetime Wrestling, and
Okay.
Primetime Wrestling was Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan, and they were sitting at a desk, and it was like a news show, and they were talking about different wrestling matches, and Gorilla will be here, Bobby will be here, and in between them, like behind them, will be a screen. And when they would send it to the match, they'll say, "Let's go to the ring to see the next match, whatever," and then the camera will close in on the screen, and then you watch the wrestling match, and then after the match, they'll pull back to them in studio, and they will be talking about that match. Do you remember that show?
I do.
Okay,
Yeah, it was a good show
I
actually.
I text Travis one day and said, "Hey man, this is what you need to do. You need to do a martial arts show like this. You and someone else, and you guys talk about whatever match you guys want to talk about, and then they'll send it to whoever, and then they can talk about it, and then they'll come back." And they can do that for about an hour. I have about 4 or 5 matches that they'll watch and talk about, and they can have guests come on and things like that. And he thought that was a good idea, but I think he was having a hard time finding someone to do it with. And he asked me would I want to do it and be, like the Bobby Heenan, color commentator. And I was like, I could do a cup. I just couldn't. I would go crazy if I had to do that. Like I would eventually get bored. Like I can't. I love sport karate, but I can't watch it every week. I'm not one of those. Like our boys, the main game. One of them definitely can do it every week. I mean, the main game is full of martial arts nerds, and I love it. They know sport karate like the back of their hand. All the different players, who did what, who won what. They know everything, and that's how I
What
used
if
to
we
be.
could get Avery for that?
I don't think Avery won a.
I know he's busy, but dang, that
I
would
don't
be
think.
nice.
Yeah, but with Avery still being a competitor, also, I don't think he would want to do that. Maybe in another 15 years, 20 years, if he's not competing anymore, he
Yeah.
might be interested in doing something like that. At this point in time, I don't know. I don't know if he wants to, you know. But that I think that would be a good show for Trav. It's gonna be interesting because we haven't had all four of us together uh without a guest. So we had Robbie on there and it was all four of us, but we haven't had all four of us and just able to talk about different topics. So Sunday's show should be our first time, and I have a feeling it might be a controversial show. We will see.
Why?
if the
What's going on?
We'll see. Well, I might decide to start some crap. I might
All
decide
right.
to start some stuff. So we will see. We will see what happens on Sunday. Because Trav believes in controversy creates cash. You know,
This has already proved that with these
especially with what's
25s.
going on. Especially with on the Martial Arts Network, there's a show called Inside Scoop, and the fellas over at the Inside Scoop, they put out a top ranking of the top 25 sport karate fighters of all time. And man, I see a bunch of shit that popped off because of that. Imagine, I mean that made up post. I mean, just for them, that's their top 25. I don't understand why people are getting so worked up over their opinions of who they have in the top
Well,
25 and in what position.
they
That is
they
crazy.
take their opinions very highly, apparently, and they get mad when their favorite guy's not in the top.
Yeah, but Yeah, that's I mean, but even the position. Like, how can you get mad at the position that I have for this particular person? That is that's crazy. That's crazy, man. It's fiction.
That's
It's fictional.
that's
It's
the
nothing to
best
get
part
worked
about
up
it.
about it.
But I mean, think about this. I mean, ESPN is kind of built on that, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
the I do you want to watch two guys, talk about how great Tom Brady is, or do you want to watch one guy
Mhm.
say, yeah, he's the greatest of all time, and someone else come in and be like, nah, man, dude's trash.
Yeah.
I want to watch that version more than two guys on his nuts. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but you know what the problem with that is? I agree with you, Joe, but this is the issue. Sometimes some people are a little bit too insecure with themselves and what they
I
have done or
agree.
haven't done. And then also some people quick people nowadays, man, are quickly offended.
Oh yeah,
It's like, dude, like it's just my opinion. Like things can escalate. And a lot of times that's how fights start happening because of somebody else's opinion. And then this person eventually insults you, and then you insult them back. And they say, you talk about this person's mother, they talk about your wife, and it can escalate. It can, so you got to be careful when it comes to certain topics about certain things. And a lot of times, like now, man, like I'm only going to argue and debate for so long before I just say, you know what, you got it. I'm not about to keep going back and forth with you. So
well that's
it
why
just kind of depends.
just in our genre, movies in general, I've said this a million times. uh, Rotten Tomatoes is the only barometer we really have. I mean, there's a few other things out there, but when you go to look up and see whether a movie was good or not, you go to Rotten Tomatoes.
Hmm.
And sometimes I see these critic scores, and I'm like, what does it take to become a critic?
Mhm,
Because like I'll see a movie on there that I really enjoyed. And I don't like a lot of trash movies. Like there's some movies out there that are a little niche that I
mhm,
might like a little more than others, but I don't like and I'm like what am I seeing different than this critic?
mhm,
Because then I go and see a movie that a critic gave a high score to and I hate it.
mhm.
And I'm like, so what does it take to be a critic? Because do you
Well,
have to be pretentious? Because if you're
mhm,
pretentious, I don't want to listen to you in the first place because I
yeah,
think you're just a bum.
yeah. I mean, I think we're critics because, like, we have two shows where we criticize movies and we talk
I
about
agree.
movies.
But how do we get those credentials? How do we get
Well,
picked as
I
a critic instead
I
of
think back in the
a
I think back
viewer?
in the I think back in the day, you probably would have went to school for journalism or something like that.
Yeah, we got to put
Got
out
a
a blog
degree
or
in it.
something.
But now I think just doing what we're doing here on YouTube or our podcast, and I think that eventually over time, if we build up our subscribers and our listeners and things like that, I think a mainstream company will come along and then offer us a position to do something on a bigger platform. And I think a lot of times that's how sometimes people get on. But one thing, entertainment is all subjective, and there's no need.
Yes, that's
It's no
why I
need.
don't understand these critics. I don't understand a critic. Okay, they go and what did you expect out of a movie? I'm trying to off the top of my head, I can't think of one that got bad. But like, let's just say if they didn't like Thunderbolts, okay, you went and saw a movie called Thunderbolts. It's in the Marvel universe. Okay, you go there. What do you expect? You know what to expect from Marvel now. Okay, there's going to be some action. There's going to be some humor and there's going to be hopefully a good plot. Okay,
Hmm.
if you get all that in a movie, why do you want to bring it down? Why do you say, "Oh, this movie"? What did you expect from that movie?
Hmm. Yeah.
That's what kills me. It's
And
like,
speaking of
come on,
Thunderbolts, did you see Thunderbolts?
not yet. I definitely want to get there before
So, yeah, let me
it's
ask you
famous.
this then. I was wondering. I was wondering that this weekend. I did see Thunderbolts,
How
and
was it?
I enjoyed it. Now, this is the
Good.
thing. Have you been able to avoid spoilers? You, Joe Hartley, have you been able to
Yeah,
avoid spoilers?
I haven't heard
Okay.
any spoilers yet.
Okay, so I'm different because of the different, pages and things that I follow on social media. If I didn't see it when I saw it, it would have been spoiled for me.
Okay.
Because there are some things that happen. Stick around, of course, to the very, very end. There's
Yeah,
a post credit scene, so stick
I
around to the very,
actually
very end.
I think I already saw that one though.
You saw that one.
Or
Okay.
heard about it. I heard about it because it's
Okay.
leading into Doomsday.
Yes. 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 Well, no, not really. No, it doesn't lead into
Okay.
doomsday. It doesn't lead
Okay.
into doomsday. It leads into something else though. And if you really think
Okay.
about it, you can figure out what it leads into. If you
Listen, when I see those post credits, if I don't understand them, the first thing I do is Google it.
no, you are instantly going to understand it as soon
Like the
as
end
you
of Doctor Strange, the end of Doctor Strange, I had no idea who that person was and what it was leading into, so I had
Doctor
to Google
Strange
it.
2.
The multiverse one, the
Yeah. I
Shatter
didn't.
multi.
Yeah, I didn't know who she was either because I don't read Doctor Strange
Okay, but
comics.
she's a
So
pretty damn good character.
yeah,
Now
I
that
looked her up,
I
but
when I looked it up, I was like, oh, okay,
mhm.
that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I've never been someone that was into Doctor Strange. I don't like him. I mean, dislike him or anything like that. I just was never a person to pick up a Doctor Strange
They've
comic.
done really good with that character in the movies, though.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they made me care
Like
about him.
some of these movies make me want to go start like looking at the comics.
Yeah, yeah, you're right
That's what
about
I
that.
like about the whole Marvel universe. And speaking of that, just real quickly, when I'm going through the people who are in this movie, John Favreau is in this movie.
In what movie?
This one that we're watching today.
Batman Forever.
Yes, he
I
plays an
totally missed
assistant.
that. He
I didn't see it. The only reason I know is because I looked up the cast.
he
You know
played
who
in the
else is in this that I never paid attention to? Drew Barrymore.
yes. I noticed her right off the bat. I was going to ask you
Yeah.
if you recognize her, but
Oh, and Don Wilson. Don the
Don the
Dragon
Dragon
Wilson.
Wilson.
He was a gang leader.
Oh well, no, yeah, I'm not paying attention to those. I'm not paying attention
I
to the
know,
big
but
comedian.
it's just stuff like I never paid attention to any of this, and then the rest we already know.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was wondering if you had the movie spoiled for you because I saw it on Sunday. Me and Champ we went to the movies. I saw it Sunday, so it wasn't spoiled for me. He enjoyed it. I liked it. You know, so it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool. I have no beef with it.
Yeah, the
Um,
theater by me does $5 Tuesdays, and I'm
mm.
off on Tuesdays, so I might probably go next Tuesday.
Wow, you think you can get through another 6 days without it being spoiled? All right.
Even if it is, spoilers don't bother me.
Okay.
I mean, I
Okay.
prefer not to be spoiled, but if it happens, like I'm just like, okay, it was spoiled, cool.
Yeah, somebody posted the post credit scene, and I saw that, but I did not look at it online. When I saw that, hey, here's the post credit scene for Thunderbolts. I'm like, why would somebody put that out already? Like it just came out the other day. You know.
Gene, I don't know if you're a Harry Potter fan, but did you hear when the last book was like the third to last book was released, and there's a important character dies? There was a guy waited in line for 4 hours, got the book, went straight to the end, read the spoiler, and started screaming it to everyone in the parking lot
Oh,
with a
that's
bullhorn.
he should have got beat
And
up.
he was on YouTube. He got a bunch of hits on YouTube. Oh, he should have. He's lucky he got out of there alive.
Yeah, he is. He is for that. That's an asshole move to do something like that, man.
I
That's
mean,
crazy.
and
That's
I
crazy.
mean, there's a lot of people, that were sitting there waiting for that dang on thing. So
Let me tell you about Harry Potter, man. So when Harry Potter came out, I was already an adult when that came out, so I didn't
me
think that
too.
would have been a thing for me. And I saw all of them during COVID. COVID,
Okay.
we had to try and entertain ourselves the best way that we possibly could. So there were plenty of weekends where I wasn't going anywhere. I was just at home on the couch. So one day I said, you know what? Let me see what this Harry Potter is all about. Let me try and watch it. Right. I saw the first one and I was like, oh, that was pretty good. And I text Morgan and Avery. I was like, I just watched Harry Potter for the first time. I actually enjoyed it, So I watched all of the movies like within the first week or two. I watched all of them and I got into it. So I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. It was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But
Yeah,
my thing was with him. I mean, I know one day we'll get to the Harry Potter series, but my thing was, why the hell does he keep going back home to his aunt and uncle living under the damn floor?
I said the same thing, man. I said the exact same thing. I had no idea about I heard the books. I don't read a lot of books. That's just not part of my thing. But
Mhm.
my father-in-law put the first movie on one day, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know nothing about this. Um, I'll sit down and watch it." And then I was like, "Oh, this is really good." And then the second one came out in theaters, so then we started seeing them all in theaters, and so that otherwise I probably never would even bothered.
Yeah, yeah, man.
So
It was yeah, if it hadn't been for COVID, I probably wouldn't even bothered. But now I watch them, and when I finished, I was like, you know what? Now I should probably watch the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies now. But now I purposely haven't watched that because we have the podcast now. So I was like, you know, I'm just gonna save it for when when we watch for the podcast. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be cool. Listen to this, man. This is funny. So
okay,
you see, you saw that I've been posting my old comics, right? So
yep.
I'm just getting people warmed up for when I start putting my newer ones back out. So I've been posting them, right? Today, this morning, Melissa looks at me while I'm having breakfast, and she says, she laughs, right? And she looks at me and says, "Oh, this is pretty funny. This sounds like something you would say." And I was like, "What's that?" And I looked up, and she shows me the comic that I posted. And I looked at her and I said, that sounds like something I would say. She said, yeah. I said, well, it should since it came out of my head.
Wait. She was reading your comic, not knowing it was your comic. Are you serious?
so,
It's on your
so,
page.
so she's staring at me. She's like, what do you mean? And I said, I did it. And she's like, you made this? I said, that's my comic. Yes, that's mine. She's like, wait. She's like, I just thought you were just drawing pictures. She was like, I didn't know that you were actually creating a comic strip. I said, yeah, babe, I that came out of
So
my
you drew
head.
the pictures and someone else came up with the humor?
I was like, no, that whole thing is me. I was like, I wrote it, I drew it, I colored it, I did everything. That's all me. She was like, oh wow. She's like, well, I didn't know you were this talented. I said, yeah, babe, that's that's all me.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So I had to laugh when I saw your comment when I saw that you posted under, under that. That made me laugh, man. So thanks a lot, man. The
Yeah,
site,
I was enjoying those because I remember when you were first putting them out, and I used to read them, and then they
yeah,
kind of, they kind of went away, and I was like, oh, what
yeah.
happened?
The site that I have that I have hosting them, they changed my theme though. Because I had put it like for all ages. They wrote me back last week and said, no. This is young adult. This is not all ages.
Only a
And
couple.
they completely removed one of them from their platform. They completely removed
Oh, for real?
one of my strips, and I was like, I looked at, it, I was like, this strip not that bad. It's not bad at all, But I was like, all right, this is your platform, so it's on my website. So it's always I'm always going to leave that one strip on my website, strip number 39. I'm going to always leave that on my website since you can't see it on the hosting, the site that's hosting it for me, the archives.
Which
Uh,
one was that?
39. It's if you go to jumpkickstudios.com, just look at number 39.
All right, I'm gonna know.
I just said
I'm
that
curious now.
too. It wasn't that bad. It was not that bad. I was like, I have way worse stuff on here, but I didn't want to say that to the platform, so I just I just left it alone and say, okay, fine.
Ah, Gene,
That,
I
that's
love it.
not that's my humor, so it is what it is.
Yep,
Uh, but yeah, man. So it's putting that stuff back up and rereading it is it's getting my ideas going and everything like that. So I'm ready for it. So I'm enjoying
that's
myself,
good.
man. Enjoying myself. I had something else I wanted to say to you. Talked about Thunderbolts comics. Um, well, you know what? If it comes back to me, I'll jump into it. Let's not hold the podcast up. Let's talk about Batman Forever. First off, Joe, did you enjoy this movie?
I actually did, man.
You did. I
I
didn't.
mean,
I did
uh,
not.
first things first. Are you a fan of Jim Carrey or not?
Okay.
No, be honest.
Yeah, I am. I am going to be honest. It depends on the role that he
Yeah,
has, right? Because I liked him in Bruce Almighty. I liked him in what was the other movie?
Kick
Damn
Ass
it.
2.
No, not Kick Ass. He did damn it, why am I blanking on the movie? Truman
Liar,
Show.
liar, yes
No,
man,
Truman Show,
Truman.
A Liar Liar. Yeah, I liked him because in those movies he's not overacting. He's going too far. That was my problem with him as the Riddler to me. Like he was too goofy. He was too silly. Um,
But that's what he does.
I
Like I
know,
knew that,
I
and
know.
because I've seen all his movies. You know,
Yes,
he's an over actor in general.
yes, yes. And that's what I don't like. That's what I don't like. He can be funny without. He goes past the limit to me.
Yeah,
I think it would have been interesting if they gave it to the original person who wanted to do it. So when Batman '89 came out, there was an actor who wanted to play the Riddler, and I
who
really
was
wish
it?
they would have gave it to him. It was Robin Williams. Robin Williams
Oh
was
heck yeah,
campaigning. He was
heck
campaigning to
yeah,
be the Riddler. I think he would, in my opinion, I think he would have made a better Riddler than Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was just too over the top. Do you have a favorite Riddler that you've seen? I do.
um, I don't think so.
My favorite Riddler is the guy who played the Riddler in the series Gotham. That guy did a good job as the
Oh
Riddler.
yeah, yeah.
I
Who
liked
was
him.
that?
He would be first for me.
I forgot about him.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
one that played Joker in that was pretty good too. He's from Shameless.
yeah. He was. Yeah, he was. And they never really gave him the title as Joker. You kind of knew that's who he was going, that he was turning into. But yeah, that kid, I liked him. I wish they would have just went ahead and just said, yes, he is the Joker. This is him. But they never went all the way
Man,
with it.
that would have been interesting as Robin Wood because that would have been a whole different movie.
Oh yeah, it would have. Yeah, it would have been a different movie. And sometimes Robin Williams can overact also, but he
No, but
does
he
it.
knows what
Yeah,
he's always does what's right for the part.
yeah. Have you ever seen him in serious roles?
Yes.
Oh man, he gives me the creeps when he's when he's doing those serious roles. Like he did a movie called, I think it's called 1 Hour Photo, and he
Oh
did a
yeah,
such. Yeah,
yeah, where he
man, he
played
did
a
it.
serial killer.
Yeah, he was that, and also he was on Law and Order. Have you ever seen him on Law and Order? That was
Yeah.
an that was an excellent episode of Law and Order. With he didn't do anything silly at all in that. Like he just
It
has
was
a creepy.
creepy.
Yeah, he just has a creepy vibe to himself. When he's being a bad guy, man. Because I guess because we are so used to seeing him wild and outlandish and being silly in these roles, he does not do that at all. And it just it makes it a really good episode or a really good movie when he does those, when he shows his range. Too bad we couldn't have gotten more stuff out of him like that, you know. So,
Oh,
but let's.
Corey Michael Smith. What? Oh yeah,
Oh, you
this
just looked it up.
dude.
The
Yeah. So man, what is the one I'm thinking of for him? He played he played in a show I used to watch that I really liked. I can't see it on here.
You
Anyhow,
talking about
yeah, he's
The
really
Riddler
good.
from Gotham, right?
Gotham. Yeah, he did a good
Yeah,
job. Yeah.
yeah. And I like how they. I
Yeah,
just
he
like.
was so young in that.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a good show. I was mad when that show ended.
I think it was. I wasn't mad. It was time to end. I just
No,
kind
I
of wish.
agree.
I just wish they had did it for. I wish they did it for like a Netflix or a Max series because you wouldn't have had any filler episodes. Like I wish it would have
Yeah.
been, you know what I'm saying. And I wish they would have tied it into the CW, even though the CW shows had a lot of filler on their shows.
Well, CW did Gotham Knights, which I tried to watch. It didn't last very long.
No.
They had potential, but they really dropped the ball on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you watched it or not, but
Mm-mm.
it
And I've
was
seen
like
it on
the kids of the. It was like the
the police
kids.
of the police officers,
No, the
right?
kids of the bad guys, and then Bruce Wayne when he was younger.
Oh no, no, that's not what I was thinking. I thought, I thought they were supposed to be doing. Oh, they were supposed to be doing an episode of the kids, and they were in high school. Was that this show?
Yeah, that's Gotham Knights.
Okay, and so they weren't the kids of the police officers.
No.
They're supposed to be doing, okay. That's something else. They're supposed to be doing a TV show based on the Gotham Police Department, but it's not like Gotham. It's supposed to be within the Batman timeline also. So
Okay.
the new Batman that's going on now. So the Batman, the Penguin, and they're supposed to have a Gotham PD TV show also with what's my man that plays Commissioner Gordon? Jeffrey Wright. He's supposed to
Yeah.
be Commissioner Gordon in the show. So it's supposed to be part of that timeline.
They might
I
still be
and
doing it.
okay, yeah, maybe. So let's talk about Batman Forever. And man, to me, it felt like forever as I was watching the show. I couldn't this movie. I was waiting on it to. I kept looking at the time like, come on, get it over with. Um, I don't know, man. It's to
Okay.
me. I felt like they were trying to be the TV show, but in movie form.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Well, we didn't get a holy moly from Robin until towards the end.
Yeah, they threw that in there.
I forgot about that. When I heard, I was like, really,
Yeah,
really,
the
like,
only I think that was only for the TV show and the cartoon, the Super Friends cartoon. I don't remember Robin ever saying that in anything else. Now, maybe in the old comics from maybe in the 40s and 50s, maybe that thing was in there, but I don't remember him in anything else ever saying that.
first off, Val Kilmer compared to Michael Keaton.
Oh
Yes or no?
no, like I'm going with Michael Keaton. Like we
I
talked
know.
about last time. Like we talked about last time, Michael Keaton when he was Bruce Wayne, he brought a different dynamic to the character. You didn't think Bruce Wayne was Batman. Val
No,
Kilmer as Bruce Wayne, he still acted like Batman
I
for the
know.
whole
He
the
really
whole
did.
time,
He
the
really
whole
did.
time.
Tommy Lee Jones was a good Two Face.
But see, I I don't expect Two Face. Like I look at Two Face, I'm not expecting him to be laughing and being silly and saying and oh
Yeah,
my god, all these damn one liners in this damn movie. I should have counted how many one
that's
liners were in this damn movie.
all these movies are like that though.
Yeah,
That was just the time. That was just the '90s.
but that wasn't really. I mean, they had some in the first Batman and the second one, but it didn't seem like it seemed like every conversation people had there was a one liner in this movie to me. It just seemed like it was just too many of them for me.
It's like everyone was trying to be the next Arnold.
Oh no, to me it seemed like everybody was trying to do what Jack did, and those characters
Oh
don't.
yeah,
Two Face was always like a gangster to me. Like I don't ever remember seeing him laugh. Like nothing was funny to him, but Tommy Lee was laughing the whole movie, and
they were really playing on the dual personality because even like his layer had like a light side and a
yeah,
dark side.
yeah,
Even he had two girls. He had a light girl. He had sugar and spice.
right.
You know.
I don't
So
even I don't even understand why this character was mad at Batman. First of all, let's talk about first. They didn't have Billy D be Two Face. He wasn't Harvey Dent in this movie for whatever reason.
they did call him Harvey, but they never started that. It was just he was Two Face to begin with.
I don't think they ever called him Dent. If they did, I missed it.
Yeah, one time they said Harvey Dent when he was talking to what's Nicole
Every time I heard
Chase.
him, it seemed like every time they called him a name, they called him Harvey Two Face. I don't
Yes,
remember.
but Harvey Dent was mentioned like on a broadcast or something like that.
Okay,
Harvey
well,
Two Face Dent.
when they showed him get burned with the acid,
Yeah,
okay, why was he
but
mad
other than
at
that, it was just
why was he mad at Batman?
because Batman kept trying to foil all his plans. I don't
No,
know.
no, no. From the beginning, like he wanted to kill Batman from the beginning of the movie, but why? Batman did not scar his face. Maroni
No.
scarred his face.
Yep.
Batman, for whatever reason, was in the courtroom. Why would he even be in the courtroom when this was all going on? Was Batman about to be a witness against Maroni? Was he about to take the stand? Why was he in the
Could you
court?
imagine? Could you imagine?
They would have been like, "Sir, can you take off the mask? Like, why do you have a mask on, sir? You're not hot in here
Uh,
with all that shit on."
state your first name. Bat. I don't even know.
Yeah. So,
Oh
so when I saw that, I'm
man,
like, okay.
that's all I can think of now is just Batman
Yeah, I'm like,
swearing Batman.
I'm thinking like, why? And with that deep voice and everything. So yeah, I was watching that part, man. I'm like, okay, Maroney throws the acid. Somehow he got through security and had acid while he's on the stand. And he throws the acid and it gets all on Harvey Dent's face. And then Batman jumps over the wherever he was from. He was in the audience, the crowd, or whatever. He comes and he tries to stop it, but it's too late. And I was thinking like, why is he even there? Most of the time, when something happens, they have to call Batman. Batman should have
Yes.
been outside. He should have been on a building, top of a building, looking down or whatever.
He was very involved in this, I guess.
Yeah, I got it. I didn't get it. So my thing was like, okay, if Maroni did that to you, why are you mad at Batman? Why are you trying to kill Batman? Did you kill Maroni for what he did to you? I mean, they never the whole movie, the whole only purpose Two Face had was to kill Batman.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't get it.
Movie starts off, we see Batman getting ready, he's getting stuff. The signal's up, he's got to run over. Two Faces trying to steal a vault, but of course it's a trap. So he locks him in the vault and with a security guard or something like that. I don't even know.
Yeah, yeah.
And the crazy thing is, okay, the way he got out of this is he used the security guard's hearing aid to listen and unlock the vault.
Hmm.
So what if you were in there by yourself? You got the whole utility belt. You don't have some kind of hearing device.
That's unlike Batman. Batman has
I
something for
know.
everything.
I just kept thinking, like, what would he have done? Because he would have been done.
Yeah, yeah,
Harvey Two Face wins.
yeah.
So Harvey keeps him in this vault locked up, and then he's going to take off with the vault with Batman inside and drown him or something. I don't even know. I don't. This was not very well thought.
No, because I never thought that a helicopter could pull a safe out of a building and fly
Me
away
neither.
with it.
Oh, and it was filling up with acid, of course.
Yes, yes. Harvey had a lot of time
So
to do all that.
he really did. So that was the beginning. Batman breaks out and sends the vault back to where it came from with the guard. So he doesn't have you know um, a prisoner anymore, or a hostage. And then he doesn't. I don't know how he doesn't get Two
Burn?
Face and take him.
Oh,
I don't know how he doesn't take Two Face in. Like, how did
yeah.
you let him escape?
Well, that's not the only time where Batman lets Two Face escape for some weird reason,
I'm
but
just saying. It seems like you had him right there, but okay. Maybe you were focused on saving the guy. I don't know. So then we go from there. He comes down, and this is when we meet Nicole Kidman. By the way, this is the first time in a. I don't remember Nicole Kidman being in this movie.
wow, really? I did. I
I don't
did.
know
And
why.
she
Oh no, I'm
seemed
not a
like
huge
a
Nicole Kidman fan. This is the first time I was like, oh, she's all right.
she
But
seemed like a villain in this movie at the beginning of this movie. She didn't seem like a normal, she didn't act like Vicky Vale.
she was very into Batman, a little too much from the beginning.
Yes. It seemed weird, like she was trying to set him up for something, the way she
No,
was
she
acting.
was she was into him more because of his trauma than. No. I'm sorry. That's Bruce.
Yeah,
She's into Batman for his dark, brooding self and
yeah,
his bad boy attitude.
yeah,
And then when she switches and she's into Bruce because of his traumatic past and his quote unquote dark side.
yeah. She got some problems herself, it sounds like.
But she's a therapist. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
She's a therapist, so like I don't know why that kind of stuff I guess attracts her. I don't know.
I,
It
I
was
I
odd.
I mean, it's not gonna surprise me if all therapists, excuse me for those of you who are therapists that are out there listening to us, but I think all therapists got some problems. Like, why do you want to have a job listening to other people's problems? Like, that's not depressing you? Hell,
Well, I know
it's only so much I can listen to of some depressive person, but of
most
course we need them.
therapists have their own therapists, so
I would think so. Like if I was a therapist, I would have to have eventually that stuff will get to you, or you're gonna become numb. Just like a police officer that's constantly seeing death every single day, 5, 6 days a week. Eventually that
yeah.
starts messing with your head, man.
Um, so then we see Bruce Wayne. He's going through Wayne Enterprise. Looks like they're working on a few things, and he's stopped by Edward Nigma, played by Jim Carrey. And this whole interaction was odd because
Yes.
he's like obsessed with Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "You're the one that hired me. Your name was on the paperwork." But Bruce didn't personally hire him. Of course, his name's on the paperwork. Like, he owns the company.
Right.
So he has this idea that he wants to share, and it's like this brain TV wave brain meld thing. It's a brain box or something. I
Mm-hmm.
don't remember what he called it. Of course, it looks crazy, whatever it is,
Yeah.
some crazy contraption. And he tells Bruce about it, and Bruce tells him, like any normal business person would, hey, make an appointment, get with my people. We'll go over the specs. We'll talk about it. He takes them seriously, but he
Mm-hmm.
also has questions,
Mm-hmm.
which that's why you have a prototype. That's why you test things. You don't just say, you look like a genius. How I like your idea. Let's go forward with it. Let's put all my money into it. What could go wrong? But no, that's not good enough for Edward Nygma. He needs an answer right now. And so
That was crazy.
I know, he gives Bruce an ultimatum. And his boss is right behind him. Okay, Bruce isn't his boss. Bruce runs the company.
Mm-hmm.
So his boss is like, we already shut this project down. So the fact that you got Bruce Wayne to even listen to you and at least set up an appointment, you should have been happy with that.
Yes, he
You
should
should have
have.
been like, okay, let me perfect everything. Let me set up, how to do this, and we'll take the next steps. But of course, because he's insane, not good enough. Now he's made it his job to be one, obsessed with Bruce Wayne, and two, to get some weird revenge on Bruce because he quote unquote dogged him.
Mm-hmm. Imagine if you're somebody that wants to be a singer, and let's say, hell, Dr. Dre is walking by you, and you start singing for Dr. Dre, and he said, what do you think? Can you sign me? He says, I like what you're doing. I'm gonna give you my assistant's card. Call them, make an appointment, and then you say no.
That's a
You
win.
gotta sign.
That
You gotta sign me
you're
right
getting your
now.
foot in the door. That's a win.
Yes.
Hell yeah. I'm
Exactly.
jumping in the air. That's a win.
Exactly. Anybody
But
would
no,
be happy to, but not
yes.
Edward. Not Edward. He was
You
not
wouldn't go,
thinking.
oh no, you need to sign me right now based off of these 3 lines. You like me?
That's
Come
crazy.
get me now, or I'm taking
Right.
my talent somewhere else. Dr. Dre's
Right.
gonna be like, get the hell out of my
Yes,
face.
exactly. Exactly. And that's exactly what this scene was. Like it didn't make any sense. That it was pretty goofy.
Okay, this scene cracks me up because first off, how does some therapist obsessed with Batman get a hold of the bat signal?
Uh
Is the
well,
bat first off, where is the bat signal? Isn't it on top of like the police station?
yes. Yes, it is.
Okay.
So she
So
goes up there.
that's what I'm
Turns it
saying.
on.
You walked into the police station, walked up to the roof, and made your way all the. You're telling me there's not a key card or
Well,
something?
I'm assuming that she was working with the police department because when we first see her, she's talking with Commissioner Gordon, and she is at that bank that was being robbed by Two Face when
Yeah,
Batman showed up.
telling them the mental stability
Right.
Two
So I'm
Face.
assuming she worked with the police department. Now, why she would walk her ass all the way up to the top, and like she could have lost her position because obviously you can't do that. You can't just turn the back signal on because you want to. Like the only person that should be doing that is Commissioner Gordon, and
She
he
was turning the
clearly
back
didn't know.
signal on. She turned that back signal on, hoping for a piece of
Yeah,
Batman.
yeah. She wanted his batarang. That's exactly what she wanted because she
Exactly what she
she
wanted.
because she wasn't up there in regular clothes. It looked like she was up there in her pajamas or not
She
pajamas,
was up
but
there in a
lingerie.
full negligee.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man. So here's what gets me about this next scene. So Nigma and his boss are having a bad interaction. He decides to test out his brainwave box on his boss, and it's going pretty well, and then it's not going very well. And then this is where he decides the boss fires him.
Hmm.
And so, just like the other movies, why are all these buildings right next to a big ass window?
That's Gotham.
Every building has a big window for somebody who to be pushed out of.
Yeah.
Because he pushes his boss, he tells his boss he's fired and pushes about the big ass window that's always there.
Well, he strapped him to a chair before he did it and rolled him down. I was thinking
He
like
didn't.
he should have. I mean, that had to have been a lot of force in order to push him, and he would have went rolling all the way to the window and then go through the window and then stop right there at the very very end.
Yeah,
And
it
then
was.
he ran down there to like he had to push him hard as hell in order to even break the window. Like that wouldn't happen in real life. He would have stopped there
No.
at the window. But anyway, it's a movie.
Especially Nigma's little wimpy ass.
Yes, exactly, exactly. But it's a movie because the way he pushed him, like if like a good brisk of wind should have knocked that damn window out because he should have been able to go through that window.
Well, so he pushed it, and this is like, I guess this is the part basically where Enigma has his psychotic break, and is gonna eventually become the Riddler, because he using the brainwave, he said his IQ was getting stronger, but he's also pulling the stuff out of his boss's brain, so he knows like things that about the boss, because he makes a suicide letter and
Yeah.
he's like, it's in his perfect handwriting, blah 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 blah. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, whatever. Why
So
would anyone believe you jumped out that building when it was out? Like a good forensics team would have figured out a chair broke the window. Why
yes.
would he be sitting in a chair and then fall out the window? Like, I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. I get it's a movie. Okay, I'm just it's a little nitpicky, but it's kind of stupid.
No, it's very simple. But stuff like that can make a difference in whether you enjoy a movie or not. What was confusing was the machine that Edward made was okay. So he didn't make it to suck out images out of people's head. It seemed
He
like he was
noticed
trying.
it when he used the
Yes,
first time he used it. He realized it was a side effect.
yeah. So it looked like he was trying to. What he wanted to do was make a 3D machine. Was that it? Or he wanted to pull images out of the TV and make it be right in your face? Is that what he was trying to do? Or
The
give
way
you the
he explained
illusion you
it,
were somewhere else, or you give you the illusion you were in the TV? Or I didn't
yes.
understand what was the purpose,
What
what
it
he was
looked
trying to
like,
create.
what it looked like was 3D imaging, but
Hmm.
what he was how he was explaining it was you were enjoying the TV because it was coming to you,
Hmm.
which is 3D TV. I mean, more or
Right.
less. But and then he realized, because he had one on at the same time, that he was able to convert the brain waves from the other person into his own.
But why would he even have
And
it on? Why would he have another one that he wears? And why would that even be working like that? I didn't.
I don't even know. I was wondering the same thing.
All right, man. Go ahead.
But I mean, later he gets, he condenses this whole thing into a smaller version, and then he creates one that's big enough to convert the brainwaves from everybody who buys
Hmm.
his stupid little box. So he's learning everybody's secrets, and I don't know. It was a far fetched idea to begin with.
Hmm.
Um, so he sends out his first riddle me this kind of little tidbit to Bruce Wayne, and it says numbers on my face 13 1, not on my face is 13, 1 through 12, which basically it's a clock. That's the riddle.
Hmm.
It's a clock. I think he sends like two more riddles out before everything's said and done. So he's back at his house. He's got a lot of odd things in his house, and he's trying to create another riddle. Uh, Now he drives this on a little motor scooter to the Wayne Manor. You're telling me all that technology that Batman has in Wayne Manor and all that money, and there's not a camera right there to show you it's every enigma?
It's funny you said that. I was thinking the same thing. Even if this, I mean, this came out in what 97, I believe. I think because I think I was in college. I came home from school one summer and went to see this with my parents and my brother. But I believe this came out in 97. There definitely should have been cameras around Wayne Manor at this time.
I mean, he had all these other technology
Yeah,
around, so he
exactly. On
definitely
top of
should
that,
have
he's
had.
Batman.
That's what I'm saying. So that part made no sense to me, but whatever it is.
Yeah,
That's just like I said,
because
just nitpicking.
Wayne Manor always seems like it's in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't seem like it's in Gotham City. It seems like it's in the suburb of Gotham City.
And this
And you would
Tim
think,
Burton version almost gave it like a haunted house feeling.
yes, and you would think that Bruce Wayne, Batman would have some type of surveillance as you're even approaching the property. You would think that he would have some type of surveillance and know who's even getting close. If you're a mile away, I would think he would know that you're coming or see you or something. Because he definitely did not have a mask on when he rode that little scooter up and put the riddle on the gate.
Yeah. So he we see Bruce. He goes to see Dr. Chase, and he brings her that second riddle that was left on his gate, I guess you could say. And it says, tear one off and scratch my head. What's the rest of it?
What once
Black
was
from red,
yeah.
something like, what was once black is now red. And she's trying to figure it out because she figured out the clock one. And she's trying to figure it out. And of course, Bruce Wayne already figured it out. It's a match. So
Hmm.
now we have a clock, we have fire. Number two.
He really
Um,
didn't need help either. He just went there to see her also.
well, he wanted to know what kind of person this person was, and her technical term was total wacko.
Right.
Eventually, she said psychopath, but you know, it is what it is. So then they start to create a little chemistry, and he sees an ink blot and asks her why she has a picture of a bat. So she says
Yeah.
that's weird because it's an ink blot. And so, slowly but surely, again, why is it every single woman that Batman in these movies comes across, he immediately tells them he's Batman?
I have no idea. Well, he didn't tell her immediately, but
He eventually does.
yes. I mean,
And then
well,
these women are gone.
actually, she kind of figures it out, and we'll get to there in a
Well,
little bit. Like he didn't,
he
he
made
didn't
it
even have to
obvious.
say anything.
He made it obvious.
Yeah,
But
that
I
probably
can't
turned
even.
her on even more.
Well, eventually, the funny thing is later when she finally does get a piece of Batman, she's now all of a sudden she's fell for Bruce, so she tells him
Mhm.
that, and he kind of smiles. But
Right.
then I don't know, she's
I'm gonna
just
say it now.
very
She's a
finicky.
freak. She's a freak. She probably asked him to wear the mask while they were doing it. I could see her. She wanted to wear the mask in the cow. She wanted to have that on.
I think any girl would. I mean, come on, Batman
As
is way better than Bruce Wayne. Let's be honest.
they probably did stuff all over Wayne Manor. Had Alfred cleaning up for days after the mess they
Poor
probably
Alfred.
did.
Poor Alfred. Um, he invites her to a circus, which is kind of a weird first date, but it's the '90s, whatever.
Well, it was a
The
charity.
circus,
It was a charity
yeah,
event also.
I know, but it's just it's a weird way to introduce Dick Grayson because
Yeah.
um, I've never been to a charity circus event, but it is what it is. So, like I said, that's all this was. This is a circus. It's set up for him to meet Dick Grayson, which I still thought this was kind of weird because he's with his family, the Flying Graysons, and they're putting on a show. And during, towards the end of the show, Two Face takes over. He brings in a big bomb full of TNT, and he wants Batman. And Bruce Wayne does stand up during this chaos and say, I'm Batman,"
Hmm.
but it's so loud that he doesn't hear him. So then he takes off and starts handling his business, which this should have given away to Chase that he was Batman because he literally just takes off and leaves it. She even says, "Bruce, where are you going?" He doesn't say
Right.
no. He just goes around and starts messing people up.
Yeah, and he's not. He's the only person. He is literally the only person. Everybody else is just standing there watching him
That's
fight
what I'm
all these
saying.
people. He should have. The people of Gotham must be stupid if you didn't realize at
Well,
this point in time, like this must be
like
Batman. Like this is Bruce
at
Wayne. Bruce
least
Wayne.
at least in Superman, Lois would call when Clark would just disappear every time things got crazy. She would call him a coward. She'd be like, "What are
Yeah,
you doing, you coward?
yeah,
You just
yeah,
left me here."
yeah,
I mean, at least call the man out.
yeah.
So yeah. Uh, so this whole part is crazy because
Nobody, I
uh,
was tripping that nobody else was trying to help Bruce because I would have been like, oh, that's Bruce Wayne. Like, if you see, one of the Illich kids fighting and a bunch of people, if something like that happens, there are going to be more people in Detroit,
yeah, but
assisting and fighting.
though, like I said, this scene was only made to create Robin
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
because his whole family is like, oh, we can help. So they start, trying to help and everything, and somehow they're the ones that end up falling, and Dick Grayson ends up getting rid of the bomb and throwing it in the lake. But
that
then
looks
his
like
whole family fell to their death.
that looked like a awfully cartoon style bomb, like that
It
big.
really did. It really did.
That looked like something Wally Coyote would have. you
Yes, I
know.
said. I would say it was really, really weird. So, and the crazy thing is, so Edward Nigma's watching this, and he's laughing. So he's
Mhm.
enjoying this
He's watching
sadistic,
on TV. He's at home.
chaotic moment,
Hmm.
and he's laughing at people falling and dying,
Hmm.
and the possibility of people blowing up. So now I guess that means he wants to team up with Two Face, which
Right.
I don't know. These two are a little odd pairing because you got one who's got like two sides, and then you got one who thinks he's, super smart and is a little psychotic. So,
Do you think they should
but
have
they're
paired
trying to
these
make
two
it.
up together?
I mean,
And if not, then what two Batman villains should have teamed up?
um, I think Two Face and Scarecrow would have been better than Two Face
That
and Riddler.
man, that's exactly what I was thinking. Also, that's
I
exactly what
think
I was thinking.
Riddler
Also,
goes well with a Joker.
I could see that.
Um, who else could the Riddler? I mean, the Riddler almost needs to be on his own
Yeah, yeah,
because even the Joker doesn't work because the Joker, most of the time, the Joker is funny but also psychotic.
yeah. It just kind
And
of depends on which Joker you're getting.
although they made this one, it's hard to make Jim Carrey a psychopath. So even though they were saying he was a psychopath, he was very calculated in most of the things he was doing,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
with
he was
with
goofy.
Joker just likes anarchy for most of the time. Like he just wants
Yes,
problems to arise. He really
which
doesn't really have any rhyme or reason why he's doing something. He just wants anarchy. The Riddler a lot of times there, I don't know why he's giving Batman his clues away. What he's planning to do. I don't see why
because
that's
he thinks he's smarter. He thinks he can outdo him. Now this part gets me because so how old is Dick Grayson supposed to be in this?
he is supposed to be around
17, 18, 19?
he's around in between 16 and 19 or 16 and 18, somewhere around there.
So that's what I'm saying. All of a sudden, the commissioner shows up and says, "Okay, Bruce, you got to help us out and take care of this kid." Why
No,
does Bruce Wayne have?
I think
Why does
Bruce
Bruce Wayne have to?
I thought Bruce volunteered to do that.
I mean, I don't know. The way they showed up, they were like, "You need to help us with this kid."
Yeah, I think Bruce said something to
Okay,
yeah, I think Bruce said something prior to the scene,
but
and
why
that's
does
why
he
they
need a
showed up.
guardian if he's 18?
Well, I don't think he's 18 because remember he had to fill out all this paperwork and he had to wait till
Yeah.
Commissioner Gordon left. That's why I said between
Okay.
16 and 18. So, he's either 16 or 17. But the reason I said probably 18 because he said something and either Batman or Alpha said, well, you'll probably be going to college or something about college or something like that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Um, yeah, but I think Bruce Wayne, he kind of felt like another kid sees his parents die. I want to help him out because I saw my
Well, and
parents
he
die.
felt responsible because
Yes,
he wasn't able to come forward to stop it.
right, right. So
So,
that's why I'm assuming. But this Robin, this is a mix of two different Robins. I don't know if you know that. Like Dick
uh,
Grace,
kind of.
this is Dick Grayson, but it's also Jason Todd. because Jason Todd was a bad boy.
Yes.
He originally was stealing the wheels off the Batmobile when Batman first found him.
Yep.
He was the one that has an attitude. Dick Grayson never acted like this or would do anything like. And no, very. I think this is the only Dick Grayson I've ever seen like this. Any other version of Dick Grayson I've seen are pretty much all the same. Whether it's the animated one, the one from Titans, they all kind of act the same or seem the same. Even the ones from Young Justice, it seemed like it's the same character all the time. So this was a very very different version of Dick Grayson.
Yeah, they did kind of mix the two, which was weird.
Yeah.
Uh, the second Commissioner Gordon drops him off, he's like, "Okay, Bruce, I'm out of here."
Yep.
And Bruce wasn't going to fight him on it, but kind of tricks him into staying because he's like, you're almost out of gas. I got, you can fill up in the garage. And then sure enough, he walks in, he's got cars and he's got some motorcycles and he's got a couple of really nice older motorcycles that need to be fixed up. So he tells him, Alfred's a good mechanic, but he can't really get around to it all the time. If somebody were to fix one up, they could have it as a prize. So he gives them an incentive to stick around.
hmm Um, you said your dad used to have a bike, right?
My dad's always had a motorcycle as long as I can remember.
Were
And he
you
had
ever a
three. He had three
were,
of them.
were you a bike guy, or are you a bike guy also?
I never got into it. I kind of wish I would have because he had some really nice bikes, man. But yeah, I never really learned even how to ride.
Okay, that was about to be my next question. I wanted because I could see you doing that, man. I could see you on a bike.
Honestly, I wish, and I still want to learn one day. Like I've been on a motorcycle one time, and I got the idea because I used to do like four wheelers and stuff.
hmm
So it's similar. I just never used the clutch. So my dad was showing me a while back. He traded just a simple dirt bike, and
hmm
so he put me on that first because he wasn't going to have me mess up one of his
Right,
Harleys.
right, 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 right.
And so I started learning on that, and then he ended up selling it, and I never tried it out again. So
Okay.
but yeah, he always had a lot of nice bikes. Um, and this version of Dick Grayson, he had a Robin on a motorcycle helmet. So um, he, kind of foreshadowing what he was going to become.
hmm
And you kind of got the feeling that Alfred was kind of trying to move things forward to get these two to work together.
Which in realistically, that's stupid. Like, why would you put a child's life in danger to fight criminals? Like, that is really bad parenting right there. Like, somebody should have called CPS on Bruce Wayne. you know, like, like to take a kid and have him out and about patrolling the streets, fighting criminals, becoming a vigilante. Like, that's not a good role model. You don't want to do that.
It's not, but he kind of took to it pretty quickly
Well, Bruce
because,
said no at first, but we'll get there. Go ahead, man.
well, he'll always say no at first. He should, like you
hmm
said, it's pretty irresponsible. The bat signal comes up and Bruce goes out. He thwarts whatever. I don't even know what the scene was really because it was kind of weird. He thwarts whatever Two Face is doing. Drives the Batmobile up a building. That was
Yeah.
kind of
Okay. So
crazy.
yeah. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So so he was out on patrol, just driving around,
Yeah,
and he sees Two Face, and he finds Two Face, and Two Face and his guys are following him, chasing him, and he runs away from them basically. So he runs up that building. I'm thinking like, why aren't you turning back around? Two
yeah.
Face's
I was
guys
wondering
just
the
all
same
blew
thing.
up. Go back around and get Two Face now. And he just left. I'm like, why did you run away? Like that didn't make any sense at
Had a
all.
hot date or something, I guess. It was very odd. This whole part is a little nuts because we see Enigma. He's trying to come up with his persona, and eventually, he settles on the Riddler. Then we see Two-Face in his lair, and this is what I'm talking about. He literally has like down the middle,
Hmm.
good and evil, more or less, down to his girls, and the Riddler just pops up
I'm
and
surprised.
out of nowhere.
I'm surprised he just didn't shoot him as soon as he walked in. He and he threatened to kill him also when he did that. You know,
Why wouldn't he? But then he tells
I
him
guess
about his
he was intrigued. He was intrigued.
well, he tells him about his box thing. He even
Yeah,
shows it to him, and I guess he really likes it. So it's the only reason he didn't kill him. Otherwise, he was gonna kill him.
and I was thinking
And
at this point, these two, if they had succeeded in what they were doing, they couldn't trust each other. At some point in time,
no,
one would have killed the other one.
yes, I mean, and I honestly I think it would have been Two
Two
Face
Two
because
Face, yeah.
Nigma is smart, but he's
But
not very violent.
but also I think Nigma would have seen it coming. And
Yes,
I think he probably would have exchanged Two Face gun for something else. It probably would have been a water gun or some shit like that. you know.
yeah, this whole part's a little crazy because he's showing him the new version of his brain box thing,
Hmm.
and he's basically telling him, "I need some capital so we can start selling these and getting them in all the homes and you know taking in all the brainwaves." And this whole plot is this whole plot of this movie is insane.
Yes. Yes, it is.
But it's Batman. What do you expect? It's gonna be what it's gonna be. So they're out. They're gonna rob a big jewelry store. They're trying to have a good time.
They're
To
acting
the
goofy.
point where yes, they're
They're
acting very goofy. But the Riddler, he has Two Face teach him how to punch someone,
yes. That
and it
I
doesn't.
that was funny to me as a kid.
It was
That scene.
hilarious
Yeah.
because he tried to punch him and he hurt himself.
Yeah. Yeah. That part was funny to me as a kid.
So where are we at? Oh, so now Bruce realizes he's got the Riddler to deal with now.
Hmm.
Which he should have figured out right away. That this was Edward Nigma.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, you don't realize who this is,
This
but
guy was covered in question marks. He was sending you letters with big question marks. Like, come on, man.
yeah. But he hadn't seen Riddler yet, right? He's just seen Nigma. He hadn't seen Riddler. When was the first time he seen Riddler?
Um,
It wasn't. He had seen Nigma twice. He saw him at the office, and the next time he sees Nigma, Nigma has already
but I
sold a
thought the
bunch of those
Riddler
boxes.
and I thought when they were doing the spree, they were on the TV, and that's he saw that he was a problem.
Yeah, no, yeah, but I mean, he didn't. He hadn't been face to face with him to realize,
No,
like, I
not
know.
yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It was way later before they even saw each other.
this whole
He kept having run-ins with Two Face, and then he saw Nigma at the charity event that well, not the charity
oh
event.
yeah yeah
They were at an event for Nigma because he was showing off his
he
machine,
had a
and he
new
had people.
version of the machine, but basically
Right.
it was to lock away people's information so he can use it later. Um,
All the top people. I mean, that was smart. I mean, all the top people from Gotham were going to be there, so he
yep.
wanted everyone's
Well, but
secrets.
his real idea was to try and figure out who Batman
Who was
was.
Batman?
Um,
Yeah.
the Dick Grayson has finds a locked room, and he wants to know what's going on with the locked room. And so, of course, he comes up with a plan to get into the locked room and discovers the Batcave. Why not? Why wouldn't you? Of course, if there's a locked room, you would think there would only be one entrance, and it's hidden from the Batcave. Why would there be a locked door?
Not on. Well, we've seen different ways to get into the Batcave from
I
Wayne
know,
Manor
but
before.
this was Alfred's way of getting in was through this locked door. He doesn't get in the chair and slide down.
Right. Right. Or the fireman pole.
Yeah.
But Also, that wall should have been locked also. So regardless if the door was unlocked, when Dick walked through the door, like he should have been like, where did he go? Like he saw Alfred go through the door. He should have been wondering where did he go. But no, there he jumped, he did all he jumped from way up top, did all this acrobatic stuff and slid in as the door was closing, gets there just in time. But I guess he had so much momentum where he went right through the wall. The wall opened up. Like he should have just hit the wall. That wall should have locked. It shouldn't be easy just to pull out the wall and walk down those stairs. It should have been hard for him. But no, it
But
wasn't.
he's not just happy he found the Batcave. Takes the Batmobile out. Why does he
Yeah.
take the Batmobile out?
How
Why
did he
did
even know how
Alfred
to
let him take the Batmobile out?
how did he even know how to turn it on? How did how the
I
hell
don't
did
know,
he know how
man.
to drive that thing?
And he's walking around, and then he drives into a bad situation because he's an idiot,
Yeah.
and then tells everyone he's Batman. He just forgot his suit.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I mean,
And
don't you think this is a problem?
yeah, they didn't believe him at first until he started fighting people. Then they
Yeah, but even
decided,
then,
okay, we're gonna beat his ass.
well, he takes out the first wave of idiots, but then they call in about 100 more, and then it's a problem.
Why can he fight? He's just a gymnast. They didn't say anything about him having any type of martial arts training or anything.
He looked like he was doing something when he was putting away laundry with Alfred. He was doing weird,
Yeah, yeah.
stupid, stupid shit. But it is what it is.
That's right.
What they don't ever explain anything. He was
No.
doing laundry foo or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So uh so yeah, he beats these guys up and everything, and then he needs the real Batman to show up, which he does. And then these guys freak out. There's still 100 of them, and there's only two, but
Hmm.
they don't want no part of Batman. They see what Batman can do.
Yeah, if I was Batman, I would have been pissed since wasn't he with Chase? He was with her
Yes,
when Batman
Alfred
called. I mean, when Alfred
Alfred hit
called.
him up on the Dick Tracy watch.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually we don't have those yet. I mean, we have watches where you can call people. I'm surprised when we can't look at somebody while we're talking to them.
Yeah, I'm
I guess
sure
give it
there is
5 more years. Apple
yeah,
will
I'm sure
invent it.
there's probably a prototype waiting for the right
Right,
time.
right.
So then this is where he decides he's going to help Batman, and Batman says no, and Alfred's encouraging it, and Batman's a little pissed about that, but it is what
He
it is.
he told him like, no, how you gonna stop me?
Yeah,
He's like,
he's
wherever
not
you go, I'm
wrong.
gonna be there.
He's not wrong. So, like you said, Nigma's having this big reveal of his new device, and basically people walk in and their desires are brought to life or whatever, and he wants to get Bruce to go into it because he wants, he's still seeking his revenge on Bruce. Little does he know that he's also Batman. So Bruce won't walk into it because he's not stupid. He knows the potential of this machine. He said it the first time he saw and heard Enigma talk about it. So
Hmm.
he finds out how to shut it down and then walks in. But I'm sorry, if you talk to one of Edward Nigma's cronies who's with Two Face and she tells you how to shut it down, you don't think she's setting you up to walk in there and put another battery back in or whatever it is?
I was wondering why do you want to go in a machine that's not turned on? If it's not working. What's the point of going inside?
Because he wanted to examine it and see what makes it work and what makes it tick without being tricked into giving up his brainwaves.
I thought he would have looked at all that from the outside. I mean, I didn't see why. I don't know, but yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, I mean, So the crazy thing is, a lot goes on here because right after Bruce does walk in there, Enigma gets what he wants. He doesn't get to see what's on that yet because Harvey comes in, or Two Face comes in and starts his own little party,
Yeah, and
shooting and
that he didn't know about. Nigma did not
yes.
know that this was about to happen.
Well, that's what happens when you work with a crazy person.
Yeah.
So they don't actually discover Bruce as Batman until they go over the footage later, the whatever it is that they're trying to figure out. And what did it So they're partying together. They're kind of arguing, and then somehow Batman gets away and comes through the glass because he always makes a big entrance. And does Robin join him for this?
No,
Yes.
he doesn't. But Robin does go outside. Batman goes outside to get his. I guess he had Alfred had the
His
costume.
old Flying Grayson.
Well, yeah, but first Batman comes in and talks to him, and then he just so happened Robin does it also and gets his uniform. But Robin doesn't show up in here. Batman ends up, chasing out Enigma, and Enigma once again tries to kill him, and it doesn't work. And Robin ends up saving Batman because he had a bunch of stuff dumped on him, like rocks or something that was all dumped on him.
Yeah. And he's basically this is his argument to say like we can be a team together because I just saved your life, and of course he's still against it. And I would, Batman almost feels like he's betrayed by Alfred because Alfred's pushing it. But if
Mhm.
you if you okay, so Alfred is your guardian for the last how many ever, even though you're an adult, he's still been your guardian forever. He cares about you, and he sees you doing this all by yourself, and you almost died today, and someone saved you. Why wouldn't he want someone to help you? Why wouldn't he want someone there to have your back? I mean, that only
Mhm.
makes sense.
Right.
So it is what it is. Um, what is this next part? Does is this where they take the doctor? Oh no, this is
Yeah.
where Batman shows up in her bed, and she basically tells him, "No, I'm into Bruce now. Sorry,
Yeah.
can't make up her mind."
Well, she told him to come by that
Yeah,
night,
but
and he does. And I wonder what he was thinking. Was he planning to just say who he was when he showed up?
I mean, he does it every other time. Why not?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it hasn't been his faults the other times. Like that was Alfred the first time with Vicky Vale. Alfred took it upon himself to spoil it for him. And then the second time, him and Selena Kyle end up saying, the same thing to each other. And
Yeah,
that's how
and
they find
figured
out.
each
So
other out. Yeah,
yeah. So now her.
he's always got to let somebody know. Um, so it's Halloween, and there's trick or treating going on, and of course during the trick or treating where it looks like Bruce is going to tell Chase that he's Batman, but then of course the Riddler and Two Face show up. They kind of
Alfred
mess
should have
things
been
up
dead.
because they yes he should have, but he wasn't.
Alfred should have been
Can't
dead.
you can't kill Alfred? Come on now, he's
Alfred
invincible.
is dead in the comics. He's not alive.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but as soon as Alfred opens the door, they whack him in the head with a cane, and the
Yep,
way he drops and falls down, I was like, he should have had a busted face. He didn't brace. He just fell over. He should have knocked his teeth out. Something should have been wrong with Alfred. He got
bro is
whacked in the
old.
head with a cane. Yeah, plus he's old. So I thought, wow, that should have been the end of Alfred right here, but no, they just throw him in the
Nah,
closet.
man, can't you can't kill Alfred. So they go and like I said, they figured out he's Batman. So they're there. They blow up the Batmobile. They blow up the Batcave. They come up. They fight off. Bruce tries to fight him off, and they get a hold of the doctor and take her. After her and Bruce Wayne kiss, and she realized, oh, she kissed Batman. She kissed Bruce. They're the same person. Of course, here we go again. And they knock out Bruce before he gets a chance to
Wait,
be
he falls
Batman
down some
again.
steps. He falls down some steps. Two Face shoots
Yeah,
at him and he
he's
falls down steps.
not having a good day. And now he's got to figure out what's going on and what his next move is. So him and Dick Grayson get together and kind of come up with a plan. Now he's finally ready to, take Dick on. Uh, did he decide he was going to call himself Robin at this point?
Well, Robin, he explained in this version, he explained how he got the name Robin. It was given to him because he saved his brother and his dad gave him that
Yeah.
name. But when Bruce wakes up, Alfred is there at bedside, and he tells them what happened, that Two Face and Riddler have taken Chase. So he has to go. He knows he has to go rescue her. So he goes and put his costume on, and then here comes Dick, and he's dressed up in a Robin costume, but it's not the Robin costume from the Flying Graysons.
No, it's similar to
Alfred,
Batman's.
yeah, Alfred made him one. That was like Batman's, and then Batman asked him like, "What does the R stand for?" And he told him Robin. And then they trying to decide what vehicle to take, and whether it's the Batwing or the Batboat, and they decide to take both. Um, yeah.
Yeah, Robin in the boat and Batman in the plane. And
Hmm.
this part's funny, but it makes no sense because they're playing Battleship with
Yeah.
Robin. I might add.
Yes. And, well, no, at Batman too. I think they were shooting up at him because I thought he was trying
Oh
to
yeah.
avoid. I thought he was trying to avoid stuff, but yeah, Robin was the one that was getting the most hits.
Well,
But
the
yeah,
crazy
once
part
again,
about this,
that's another. I didn't. It was too goofy. Like this scene was just too goofy to me, man. I was just like,
it
oh my
was it
goodness.
was crazy. But the crazy part about this is, okay, Robin. This is his like first time as Robin out, and like he drives a boat and then he gets captured.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
You're
Well,
the worst sidekick ever.
they
What
blew
is
the
wrong with
boat
you?
up. They blew the boat up. So
I don't care. You are the worst sidekick ever. This is your first time out. You're supposed to show that you can handle yourself, and you get
Joe,
canceled.
he
You
hasn't been
get
trained
captured.
yet. He
Oh,
has not been trained.
oh
All he
what?
knows how to do is whatever he knew before he met Bruce Wayne. Like he has some gymnastic skills, and evidently he has some type of fighting skills that he showed, like you said earlier, that he showed
I
Alfred. But
understand
other than that, that's
because
not.
now,
That,
but now this gives them leverage because now they have Chase and they have Robin, and the idea is they're going to make him choose
well,
between which
yes.
one to save.
Well, at first, Batman does jump down in the water to save Robin,
Yeah,
and then they make it to like this island thing or whatever, and then they get separated, and Two Face shows up, and Batman goes after Riddler, and then Robin and Two Face, and he could have killed Two Face. He had advantage. Two Face was hanging off of a cliff, it seemed like, and
they
Robin is
they
standing above him
gave
looking at him.
yeah no they kept making the Riddler like he started looking more and more like a wrestler
Yeah, he looked
because
crazy,
he just
man.
kept getting more and more crazy looking.
Yeah, yeah. So then this the part you're talking about. So when Robin goes to reach down and grab Riddler, Riddler grabs and pulls him up, and he has a gun. So now he's caught. So
Yeah.
now, like you said, both Chase and Robin have been captured.
So, like I said, they're making Batman choose between the two lives, Bruce Wayne and Batman. Do you want to save your sidekick? You want to save your love, even though she's only your love for this movie because in the next movie you get someone new. That's just the theme.
Yeah.
But potato potato, it is what it is. So of course, Batman, he chooses one to give his own riddle, which by the way, the riddle was blind as a bat.
Hmm.
Whatever. And he
I
shoots
even knew that
a
as a
like a
kid. I knew what that was.
he shoots a chandelier that falls down and it causes the brain waves to overload Nigma's head and make him go basically scramble his brain like some eggs.
Yeah.
Then all he has to worry about is saving the two and then to take care of Harvey, which of course he's Batman. He could save two people at once. He's got too many toys. But he pulled a Spider-Man here
Hmm.
when he was
Yeah.
trying to save Gwen, only he actually saved both. Listen, the only reason I say that is because my son came down. My son never saw this, but he came
Okay.
down right at this part. And he goes, "Oh, is this Spider-Man trying to save?" He said Mary Jane. I was like, first off, the movie you're thinking of, it was Gwen. He was trying Gwen Stacy, not Mary Jane. And second off, this is Batman, not Spider-Man. But thank you very much. Um,
I was wondering, like,
so he
how
saves
high
them.
up are they? Like, that was a long drop because he was falling to save Chase, and then he kept falling. Somehow he was able to, I don't know, used his bat line, and he wrapped one end on her and then wrapped the other end above. We don't, we just saw it latching on to something. Then he kept falling to grab Dick, and then he shot another line back up and ended up saving him. Yeah, that was a little bit miraculous how he did that.
And then to take care of Harvey is really simple. I mean, all he had to do with Two Face was throw a few coins, extra coins in the air, so Two Face can't make his decision because he doesn't have his lucky coin.
Yeah, because I mean they climb back up and they think they're all right. And if you're not really paying attention, you forgot that he hadn't taken care of Two Face yet. And Two
Yeah.
Face is standing there and he got the drop on him, and he's gonna flip his coin so he can decide what he's gonna do to him. And he just so happened to have a pocket full of coins.
Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense, but it does because earlier him and Dr. Chase had talked about the fact that the number one weakness for Two Face is his coin.
Okay. So at some point in time, he says, "All right, if I ever get the chance, if he ever flips that coin in front of me, I got some other coins ready to throw at him
See?
to confuse him."
Now you understand, Gene. Now you understand.
So yeah, so then
Uh,
Two Face tries to grab a coin and he misses and he loses his balance and then he
and he
falls
falls
all the
down the
way
cliff.
to the bottom. And that's
Uh,
it for him.
so the very end of this, Nigma's telling everyone he knows who Batman is. Uh, Bruce Wayne sends uh, Dr. Chase to check it out. He goes in, and of course, he's dressed up in his prison clothes, flying around like a bat, and he's telling everyone he's Batman.
Yeah, I wouldn't have trusted that. I wouldn't have trusted that he doesn't remember, and you don't know if that memory would ever come back either. And I always wonder if they plan to bring him back because in the other two movies, Penguin died and Joker died. This one, Two Face died, but Riddler did not die. So I always wondered if they kept this series going, if they had ever had planned to bring Jim Carrey back as Riddler, because then that would
I
have really
mean,
been a problem.
they could have brought him back in the next one because they had everybody else and their mom in the next one. I mean, they literally the next one introduces Batgirl,
hmm
Poison Ivy,
hmm
Bane,
hmm
Mr. Freeze or
hmm
Cooler, or whatever the
Mr.
frick his
Freeze,
name
yes,
is.
yeah, Mr.
And
Freeze, yeah.
is there any more?
I don't think so, but we'll see. I think that's it.
So I
Yeah.
mean, and they keep getting like so many big names
hmm
with this movie. Like, man, the budget on this had to be insane.
Yeah. Yeah. They probably made their money back. But the story, I couldn't get down with it. So, what grade are you giving this movie?
I didn't hate it. Like, I don't mind Jim Carrey. I've always enjoyed him. Yes, he's over the top. I thought Tommy Lee was okay. I would have liked more of a Harvey Dent origin story with Tommy Lee, not just all of a sudden we just get Two Face.
hmm
Um, but I mean, overall, it's not my favorite one. It's not great. It's not anything, but I'd say a solid B minus is okay for me.
Wow. Okay. B minus for you. I'm not being that generous.
What are you?
I'm
Are you
going.
going D or C?
I'm going D plus. I'm going D plus,
Okay,
and I'm gonna tell you why I'm going D plus.
I know why. Go
I
for it.
really, I really don't know. I, I, I might change this from a D to something else, right? Because
Lower or higher?
I don't know. No, it's not going higher. It's not going higher. This is my thing. I don't know which between this movie and Batman and Robin. I don't know which one I like better because I haven't seen them in a while. So right now I'm giving this a D plus because I think Batman and Robin is worse than this movie. But if Batman and Robin are better than this one, but not by much, then I might have to give this one an F or a D minus and give Batman and Robin a D. So I don't know. As of right now, I'm giving it a D plus, and we'll see. I will make my determination
I'm
after I
thinking
watch the
Batman and
next one.
Robin. I'm guessing Batman and Robin is worse.
Oh,
Too much going on.
is it because of George
Too
Clooney? I mean,
much.
next one we got George Clooney, we got Chris O'Donnell, we got Alicia Silverstone, we got Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's a
Uma
lot of
Thurman.
stars. Uma Thurman, yeah. So this it's a
And I
lot
don't
of
even remember
stars.
who played Bane.
No, I did know, but I can't remember. I want to say it was a wrestler. I think I think it was a wrestler. I'm not 100% sure.
In the
Uh,
90s, who would have been like George the Animal Steel or something?
no, 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 no. I want to say it was Kevin Nash, but I'm not. Man, I'm not
It
sure.
probably
Let me
was,
see.
but he doesn't even fit. He doesn't even look like he could. He's like too tall for a Bane.
He was Kevin Nash was Shredder in Super Shredder in the second Turtles movie.
I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah. Uh
That's crazy.
no, it wasn't Kevin Nash. It was someone named Robert Sweenson. I'm not familiar who that is.
Neither
Or
am I.
yeah, I'm not familiar with this guy. But he was a wrestler. He was a wrestler. And
Of
I
course he
have no
was.
idea. I have no idea who he is. So, and he was in World Class Wrestling, World Class Championship Wrestling. His name was Jeep Swinson. He was managed by Gary
Oh
Hart
wow.
back in the day. So, yeah. All right. Anything else, Joe?
Oh man, I'm good. This was fun.
Yeah. So we'll see about next week. Don't forget check out Fist Kicks and Flicks. We are this week that is released is Warrior season 2 episodes 5 and 6. Next week we will be on 7 and 8, right?
Yep.
All right. All right. So, everyone, stay safe, stay strong, and stay super. And we'll holla at you next week. And I will play our music.